Good afternoon, fellow viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. We thank God it is Friday. Today, we want to look at a new strand and a new substrand. That is Algebra, strand 2, and substrand 1 is patterns and relationships. Under patterns and relationships today, we want to talk about stating the rules of a given pattern. How to state the rule of a given pattern. Now, let's look at this set of numbers. We have 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's say there are 3 dashes here. And we are to extend this pattern. When we say extend the pattern, that means fill in the missing numbers. Now, when you look at the first 4 given numbers, which is 2, 4, 6, 8, the way the numbers are moving, the way the thing is going, or the pattern the numbers are following, we will be able to say that the next number is 10. The other one is 12. And the next one is 14. Now, the way that we were able to determine that the next numbers are 10, 12, and 14 are the pattern. That is the pattern they are following. And the rule is how or what did we do to get the missing or the next 3 numbers. When you look at these numbers, we can say that the rule is multiple of 2. So when you are multiplying the 2 times table, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, so 6, 8, 10. So when you are being asked to describe this relation, you are going to say it is multiples of 2, or skip count forward by 2. Now let's look at this one also. We have 5, 10, 15, dash, dash, dash. When you are being also asked to extend this number or this pattern, you will say that the numbers are following a certain rule. They are following a certain pattern. Our first number is 5. Right after 5, we skipped to 10. After 10, we skipped to 15. So you will see that the numbers are following a certain pattern or a certain rule. And the pattern is the multiples of 5. Or one will say addition of 5. So that means to get the next number, add 5 before you add 5 to this number before you get to the next one. So I can predict the next number here as 20, 25, and the last one, 30. Why? Because it is following a certain pattern. I can't just write 21. I can't just write any numbers here because since they are following a certain pattern, your answers or the numbers should agree or abide by the same numbers. Let's take the last one and we'll look at the diagram drawn here. We have 5, 7, 9, dash, dash, dash. We have to extend the given pattern. Now when you look at the numbers, from 5, they came to 7. From 7, they came to 9. Now looking at the 3 given numbers, looking at how the numbers are being given, the pattern that the numbers are following, we can say that to get the next number, 2 was added to 5. So 2 plus 5 will give me 7. 2 plus 7 will give me 9. So if we want this number, then we can say 2 plus 9 giving us 11 makes the second or the first missing number. Then if you want this one, add 2 to this one. So 11 plus 2 will give us 13. If you want the last one, add 2 to the 13. And 13 plus 2 will give us 15. So we can say that the rule or the pattern is addition of 2. I can't say multiplication or multiples of 2 because 2 times 4 can give me 5. There is no number. 2 times 4 will give me 7. There is no number. But before I can get the next number, I have to add 2 to the other one. Now let's look at a table here. The table says that state the rule. What is the rule? The rule is just like the pattern the numbers are following. So when you look at the table carefully, we call these numbers x values and these numbers our y values. You can also say these numbers are domain and codomain. When you look at the output, the numbers are 10, 5, 10, 15, 20. You have to fill in the missing numbers or the potholes. But when you look at this, we can say that 5 multiplied by this input 1 will give us the output 5. 5 times this will give us this. 3 times 5 will give us this. 4 times 5 will give us this. So if we want the next number, then we should multiply this number times 5. So we can say that the rule here is input times 5. And this input here, these numbers are for x. So we are going to say x times 3 is the rule in words. But in algebra, we are going to say 3x. Sorry, x times 5. X times 5. Because if you multiply this one times 5, you are going to get this. If you multiply this times 5, you are going to get this. So our rule is 5x, which is 5 times x. So this being our x, if you want this number, multiply 5 times this, and this will give you 25. Multiply 5 times this, and it will give you 30. Multiply 5 times this, and it will give you 35. Multiply 5 times this, and it will give you 40. So the rule for this is x times 5. What is x? X are the numbers here. So this is x, 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 and so on and so forth. And the ones here are y's. So we are being asked to find or state the rule. You first check, is it in multiplications or what is it? Then you continue. Now let's look at the other example there. It says that state the rule in words. State the rule in words. When you look at the numbers, look at the x values and look at the 9 values. The y values looks like multiplication of a certain number. So when you look at it carefully, which number did they use to multiply the x value 1 to get the y 9? So let's try 9 times table. 9 multiplied times 1 will give us 9. 9 times 2 will give us 18. 9 times 3 will give us 27. 9 times 4 will give us 36. If you continue multiplying, you end up seeing that the rule is in multiples of 9. So to state the rule, we are going to say that the rule is 9 times x. we have stated in words. So if you want to write this in an algebraic form, we are going to say 9x. So this becomes our rule. So y is equal to 9x. To find the value of 9, multiply x by 9. So if, let's say, I have an x here which is 10. To find the y for the x10, I'll just substitute my x here and I'll say 9 times 10, which is equal to 90. So the rule for this is y is equal to 9x when it comes to algebra or algebraic expression. But this has been stated in words. Now let's look at this number, the next one. When you look at this table, let's see if it says that state or describe the rule. Find the missing numbers. Now, let me try multiplication and see. 4 times 1 will give me 4. I'm correct. 4 times 2 will give me 8. But I have 7 here. 4 times 3 will give me 12. But I have 10 here. So that means this rule will not work for multiplication. But when you look at the y values, or when you look at the codomain, it's like they've added 3 before they'll get the next number. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. Now, the question is, how can I therefore know my rule? Because I can't just say that, okay, then this will be 16, this will be 19, and this place is 20. No, I might be wrong. So we are going to use a formula that states that if you want to find the rule of this nature, then let's go by this formula that says that y is equal to ax plus b. Now remember, in mathematics, alphabets are variables. So a and b here represent a certain numbers. It represents certain numbers. Now, if we are going to find for this, we are going to solve for a first. So my a will give me, look at the codomain. The codomain, it is in addition of 3, 3, 3, 3. And the domain is in addition of 1. So because the codomain is in addition of 3, if you are being asked, what is the difference in the codomain? It is 3. Because it is in addition of 3. And when you look at the domain, where is the domain? The domain is the first table. And the second one is the codomain. So the difference in codomain is 3. And that of the domain is 1. So to find your A is equal to difference in codomain all over difference in domain. How can I get my difference in codomain? Look and ask yourself, is it in addition of 4, addition of 2, or addition of 3? When you look at this number, it is in addition of 3. So because it is addition of 3, that means the difference in codomain is 3 over the difference in domain is 1. And every whole number is over 1. So A is equal to 3. Now when you get your A is equal to 3, we are going to put this A is equal to 3 into this equation. So this time we will not write A, but rather we are going to write 3. So y is equal to, instead of ax, we know the value of A, so we say 3x plus B, because A is equal to 3. Now to get my rule, I'm left with B. I have to now find my B. How can I therefore solve for the B? To solve for the B, you will go to the table and you pick 2 pairs of numbers. When I say 2 pairs of numbers, remember I told you that the numbers here are called domain. At the same time, they are x values. And the numbers here are called domain. At the same time, y values. So x values, y values. When you look at this equation, y is equal to 3x plus b. I have y here, I have x here. So I'll pick y from here and the corresponding x of y. The corresponding value of the corresponding x of this y is 1. That of this is this. So if you are going to pick y as 4, then x here you pick 1. If you are going to pick y as 10, then x here we pick its corresponding x value. So let's say I would like to pick 4 as my y. So y, which is now 4, is equal to my 3x. It is multiplying. So 3x, what is the x for this 4? 1. So 1 into bracket plus b. Then this becomes an equation. So I'm going to say 4 is equal to 3 times 1 is 3 plus b. I want b to stand alone. And we were taught equation in basic 6. How can I let b stand alone? Let b cross the equal to sign, giving you 4 minus 3 is equal to b. So because this cross the equal to sign is going to be negative. Why? Because it has crossed the equal to sign. There is positive here, but it is not written. But when it crosses, it becomes negative. Now 4 taking away 3 will give me 1. So I'm going to say b is equal to 1. Now this b is equal to 1. We will put it back into this equation. So if I'm going to put this 1 into this equation, I'll get y is equal to 3x plus 1. And this becomes the rule for this pattern. This becomes the pattern or the rule for this table. Now, let's say we want to find the value of y if x is 1. So 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, 4. So this becomes the rule. If you have to state in words, we are going to say the rule is 1 more than 3 times x. That will be stated in words. Now let's look at the II. Find the missing numbers. This is y, this is y. So to find for this y, you are going to say y is equal to 3x. What is the value of x? 5 plus 1. So this will give me 5, 3, 15. 15 plus 1 is 16. So the value here is 16. If you want this one too, y is equal to 3x. What's the value of x? 6 plus 1. 3, 6 is 18 plus 1. That will give me 19. So the number here is 19. And yet we have to find the value here. So y is equal to 3x. What is x? X is 9. So that is why I told you that you should not just write the numbers, but look at the corresponding x value. So 9 plus 1. So 3, 9, 27 plus 1. That is going to give me 28. So the number here is 28. I've been able to find my root and the missing numbers. Now let's take a practical question that can be asked in our exams or a quiz. Now it says that find the rule of the table below and use it to answer the following questions. It is just like this one, but you have been asked questions on it. So as we've been able to find our rule here, we can use that same idea to that one. Or we can just look at it in terms of multiplication. It says that find the rule. Now when you look at the numbers, look at the table. Number of students. 1 student, 3 Ghana cedis. 2 students, 6. So the cost is in Ghana cedis. So 1 student, 3 cedis. 2 students, 6 cedis. 3 students, 9 cedis. And so on and so forth. Now when you look at the way the cost of lunch is increasing, it looks like it is in a multiplication of a certain number. And we can say that it is in multiplication of 3. Go. So if we are to find the relationship or the pattern, we are going to say that if we multiply the number of students times 3, we will get the cost of lunch. And remember that the numbers or the value here are equal to x or are x values. So to find the rule, I can quickly say that the rule is 3 times x, and x is the number of students. So if you pick this and you want the cost of lunch, just multiply this number times 3. If you pick this and you want the number here, just multiply it by 3. So the rule is 3 times x in terms of words. But in algebra, we are going to say to find the cost of lunch. And the cost of lunch is the same as y. So to find the cost of lunch, multiply the number of students, which is x, times 3. So y is equal to 3x. And this becomes the rule. So with this rule, we can find the missing numbers. Let's look at the question here. It says that we have to use the rule. So if we don't find the rule, we will not be able to get the answers. So find I, the number of students, if the cost of lunch is 30 cedis. We have to find the number here if the cost here is 30. So I'm going to do what we call change of subject. The rule is y is equal to 3x. And this is also the same as 3 times x. So we have to find the cost of the number of students if the cost of lunch is 30 cedis. So y here is 30. So instead of y, I'll say 30 is equal to 3 times x. Now this is what I am to find. I am looking for this number. Now when you look at this, it says that 30 is equal to 3 times x. Now let's cover this and ask ourselves, 3 times what will give us 30? When you recite your 3 times table, 3, 10, 30. That means the number here is 30. So x is equal to 10. The number here is 10 because 3 times 10 will give us 30. So x is equal to 10. So the number of students are 10 students. So 10 students will have to pay 30 Ghana cedis. The second one, find the cost of lunch if the students are 20. If the students are 20, find the cost of lunch. So we are going to find the cost of lunch, which is y is equal to 3x. We have to use our rule. And y is the cost of lunch. And we have our x as 20. So to find y, we are going to say 3 times 20. 3 times 20. If 3 times 2 will give me 6, then 3 times 20 will give me 60. So y is equal to 60 because 3 times 2 is 6. So y is equal to 60. So the cost of lunch, if the students are 20, will be 60 Ghana cedis. Let's go to the last one. The number of students, if the cost is 120. Still use your the rule. So y is equal to 3x. And remember that 3x is the same as 3 times x. Our y is 120. So instead of y, we are going to say 120 is equal to 3 times x. Now let's ask ourselves this question. If I cover this part, 3 times what will give me 120? Because it is 0, let me assume that there is no 0. And ask, 3 times what will give me 12? If I reset my times table, 3, 1, 3. 3 times 4 will give me 12. So if 3 times 4 will give me 12, then 3 times 40 will give me 120. So I'll say x is equal to 40. The number here is 40. So therefore, therefore the number of students, if the cost of lunch is 120, is 40 students. And when you are able to score, you get 15 out of 15. And this is how we find the rule of a given pattern or relationship. Thank you for staying tuned. See you God willing next week on the same strand and substrand. And have a blessed weekend. Bye bye.